This is Hidden Ones, part 24, and the title of this video is What is the Kingdom of Judah doing in West Africa? Right now, I'm on the United States Library of Congress website. Okay, again, I'm on the Library of Congress website, loc.gov. Links will be in the description. We are going to be talking about two maps today. The first map that we will deal with is the map from 1747 named Negro Land. All right. And so the second map we will deal with comes from the book The Lost Tribes, a Myth from Alan H. Godby. Let me say that again. This particular map comes from Alan H. Godby's book called The Lost Tribes, a Myth. And you can get a PDF version of this. Because like I said, with some of these books that have a lot of information in it that they want to suppress, they jack the prices all the way up. But at least you can get a PDF copy of the book. All right. It says here, a new and accurate map of Negroland and the adjacent countries, also Upper Guinea, showing the principal European settlements and distinguishing which belong to England, Denmark, Holland. The sea of the rivers being drawn from surveys and the best modern maps and charts regulated by a strong observers. When it comes to the African continent, a lot of the names that are being used today for the different countries, those aren't the original names. A lot of the names of the countries that are being used today come from the countries that have colonized parts of Africa. And so you see the word Guinea here. And so that word comes from the Portuguese. The Portuguese named a certain section of West Africa Guinea. Why was the continent of Africa so attractive to the Europeans? Because Africa is a continent full of rich resources. All right? That being gold, diamonds, and etc. If you look at the bottom of the map, all the way to the left, there's a little box here with some writing in it. I just read what was in that box earlier, or not too long ago. But if you look down at the bottom, it says Maps and Charts. And there's a name there. It says by Eman Bowen. It's actually Emmanuel Bowen. If you look at the very bottom of the map, you'll see a little bit of writing here. I'll scroll in so you can see. It says Emmanuel Bowen, London, 1747. Okay, so when we look at the map in its totality, it shows you West Africa. All right, so we don't have the full, complete showing of Africa. We just have northern West Africa, and you got southern West Africa. And then you have right here where it says Negro Land. I will put a circle around Negro Land, and I will zoom in so that you can see it a lot better. All right, so if you take, a few minutes to just look at the map, you'll see here, it says the Sahara Desert. You got the Kingdom of Sada. You got basically many different kingdoms here across West Africa. You'll see the kingdom of Timbuktu right here. So let's just get, there's many different kingdoms if you just take a look. All right, so we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of this map where it says Negro land. And right below it says Upper or Proper Guinea. All right, so we already know where the word Guinea comes from. Also, I will be doing a separate video, the video right after this, talking about where the word Negro comes from. If you go to dictionary.com right now and you put in the word Negro, the origin of where the word comes from, it comes from Spain and Portugal. All right, so I will prove that in another video. All right, so let's look at the map again, right where it says Upper or Proper Guinea. All right, you'll see here where it says Grain Coast. You'll see where it says Tooth Coast. Now it's called Ivory Coast. And you'll see where it says Gold Coast right there. Okay, so in this particular area was a lot of natural resources. All right, I will deal with the Slave Coast in a minute. Let's go to Google right quick. We're just going to deal with the Ivory Coast. Now, on the map, it's called the Tooth Coast, but right now it's called Ivory Coast. And I'm just going to give you an idea of the many resources in that alone, that specific area. All right, it says the Ivory Coast has many natural resources, including oil and gas, minerals, agricultural, and other resources. Okay, if you scroll down, it says resources, Côte d'Ivoire. That's what it's called now. Key natural resources include cocoa, oil and gas, rubber, diamonds, cobalt, copper, timber, water, and fish. It says right here, Ivory Coast is among the world's largest producers. Ivory Coast is among the world's largest producers and exporters of cocoa beans, and palm oil. It says the economy of the Ivory Coast. It says mineral resources exploited in Côte d'Ivoire include diamonds and gold. And again, this is only in that specific area. Okay, this is proof to back up what I was saying. The continent of Africa is full of natural resources, and we're just dealing with a small portion of West Africa. All right. So before we go to the next map, I'm going to say this now. Hebrews were all over West Africa, especially when it comes to the kingdom of Timbuktu, the Falas, the kingdom of Benin, the kingdom of Ashanti, Sierra Leone, the kingdom of Gago, of course, the kingdom of Judah, right? So you see here that the descendants of Jacob's sons were all over West Africa. And the reason why I point out those specific ones, because when I do my research, they're pointed out, all right? But I do know that there were Hebrews all over West Africa. And so if we zoom in to the kingdom of Judah, it says here the slave coast. Everybody should know what that means. All right. So what is the kingdom of Judah doing in West Africa? The reason why it's there is because it goes back to what I just said. The Hebrews were all over West Africa. Okay, I want to make this one last point, and then we're going to move on to the next map. What you see right here, all right, when we're looking at Negro land, okay, at one time, it was one whole dynasty. When you look at West Africa today, it's broken up into different countries. It wasn't like this always, okay? Before colonization, before any European settlements, okay, it was one whole dynasty. It went from the Zod dynasty to the Songhai Empire, okay? So, in part 26 of Hidden Ones, I will be dealing with that. Just to give you a heads up, I'm probably going to be breaking this video up into two. So the first one will be named Hidden Ones Part 24, and the second one will be Hidden Ones Part 24 Continued. Okay, because if it gets too long, I'm going to break it up, because I really try to do only 10 minutes, but a lot of times I go past 10 minutes. If you are listening to this and you don't know Yahushua as your Savior, click the link in the description box. I tell you how to get saved. Have a good day.